they took us back just as veterans to the term I kind of used was back during the war we were workhorses, and this time I think we were show horses. It's amazing. It's absolutely amazing what the Korean people have accomplished in 60 plus years since the end of the war. Um, I think all the Korean War veterans are very proud of the Korean people and what they have accomplished um, in the years since the war. It's the 10th largest economy in the whole world right now. So they've really, it's amazing, absolutely amazing how they've advanced in that period of time. From, abject poverty, it was total destruction after the war. In Seoul, probably the tallest building in Seoul was maybe a couple stories tall that was still standing after all the bombing and everything after the war. But today, Seoul is like any big city here in the United States. I mean, it's unbelievable. There's about 50 million people live in Korea, in South Korea, and 26 million live in and around the Seoul area. So it's just total congestion, and it's just, high-rise buildings, subway system like you wouldn't believe, underground amusement parks underground. It's just unbelievable what they have accomplished in 60 years. In our local chapter, we had two gentlemen who were prisoners of war during Korea. Both of them are deceased now, but one of them just died back in December. But they were POWs for, one of them was 33 months and one of them was 34 months during the Korean War, almost the entire war. The one guy told me, or both of them said that they did not have any desire to go back to Korea, that they seen enough of Korea.
Yeah.
in the time that they were over there. But one of them, I finally talked him into going, and he went, and he said that it was the best thing that ever happened to him, because when they were released from captivity in the north, they came down to an area called PyeongChang. I'm sure you've heard of that.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a bridge there they call Freedom Bridge, where they crossed the bridge. And when they crossed the bridge, they were back in United States control. And when he went back, he said that they allowed it, that most of the time when you go to Korea on a revisit program, they won't allow you to go onto the bridge. But because he was a POW, they allowed him to do that. And he went out on the bridge, and so he just stood there and cried like a baby. But it was a total release for him, and it brought closure to his experience in the Korean War. And the second gentleman did exactly the same thing. He didn't want to go back, but he finally decided to go back, and the same thing with him. His daughter went with him, and they went out on the bridge and stood there arm in arm, or hugging each other and crying. And both of them said it was the best thing that ever happened to them. One of the interesting aspects of the opening ceremony was when the North Korean and the South Korean athletes marched in together um, under, they call it a unification flag. They had the entire Korean peninsula on the flag. And what was interesting was to see the reaction of the Korean people that were in the stands. There was when they came in, and there was a Korean gentleman sitting over to my right, and he booed and carried on. He wasn't happy with it at all. But sitting down in front of me was another Korean who was standing up applauding. So you had a mixed reaction from the people as to how they were accepted the athletes coming in together. I think if we could reunify the country under a democratic government rather than a dictatorship, then I think most veterans would be in favor of it. But we don't want to see a dictatorship again. I mean, that was the purpose of the war to start with. To North Korea attacked South Korea with the intent of taking over South Korea and making it one government under communist rule. But we stopped them, and that's why we always maintain that we won the war in Korea. Everybody says it was an armistice and it was a stalemate and nobody won, but in my opinion, we won the war in Korea.